If you've ever wondered about those little marks above or below certain letters, this is the ultimate guide to diacritic. Start with the question. What is a diacritic? Here, S1 answer. Letters are the toolhead and diacritics are the attachments you snap on when the job needs a finer touch. Think of writing as a basic toolkit. Letters are the toolheads and diacritics are the attachments you snap on when the job needs a finer touch. Across languages and time, communities have added marks above, below, through and around letters to capture sounds, tones, lengths, and histories the base alphabet couldn't represent. That's why you see A, E, I, O, U, a bunch of tiny marks on top of them, like a chef sprinkling fresh herbs on a bland dish. In this installment of the Grammar of ... I'll walk through what diacritics are, where they come from, how they work phonetically and orthographically, and why they matter linguistically, culturally, and technically. Before we get into specific marks, let's get to things straight. First, a diacritic is a mark that changes the pronunciation of a letter. So H, umlaut, or E, acute don't count because those are distinct letters in their own right. Second, not all languages treat marked letters the same. In Spanish, G is its own letter. In Swedish, Y is a letter, but in French, is just a variant of E. The difference is orthographic, not automatic. Okay, quick history in a paragraph. In the medieval period, scribes needed to write Old French, a spoken language that had evolved away from the formal Latin they were used to. So, they began marking letters to show the differences. Small marks, doubled letters, or placed miniature letters above or beside others. Over centuries, some shorthand became a stable orthographic convention. In other cases, typographers and language planners formalized marks into Beyond practical phonetics, diacritics can also preserve historical relationships. The French circumflex often marks where an S used to be. Other diacritics mark stress, tone, or length. Let's look at some common diacritics and what they typically indicate. The acute often marks stress or a higher closed vowel like Spanisher or Polisho, historically different. The grave marks an open vowel or different stress like Italian or French-a. The circumflex signals vowel quality or historical length or loss, like French, Y, or way. The tilde marks nasalization like the G or G in Portuguese and on N. It marks a palatile nasal G-like in Spanish. The umlaut or diaeresis in German changes vowel quality like in a umlaut, or as a diaeresis like in English. Nai, or French Haiti. It indicates that a vowel is pronounced separately rather than forming a digraph. The Quran, or ha-ik, is used in Czech and Slovak to create PGP by adding the mark to C, S, or D, respectively. That shifts consonant quality towards CH, SH, or ZH. The cedilla under C in French or Portuguese makes a soft S before a O, or you like in the word cap. The ogonek goes under vowels in Polish, like in G or G, to mark nasalization. The ring, like in Scandinavian, Y is a remnant of when the vowel was written as a. The dot above or below a letter is used to indicate a short or dotted versus long or contrast, like in Turkish, where Y and I are different vowels. The stroke like in G or G often indicates a different consonant like Polish G, pronounced like English W in many dialects, and some languages like Vietnamese use multiple marks on a single letter. Additionally, many non-Latin scripts use diacritic marks. Arabic harakat are small marks that indicate short vowels and other phonetic details. Indic scripts like Devanagari use marks to alter vowel sounds. Hebrew Nikod, R.N line systems too mark vowels, and more. When exactly does a diacritic become a new letter? When a marked letter is treated as a separate entry in the alphabet, like Spanish G or Swedish Y. That means the language considers it phonetically or historically distinct, worthy of its own slot in the dictionary. If no diacritic is involved, then the alphabet is monographic, like English or Russian, as we saw with the Polish example. The same diacritic can look different on different letters, and different diacritics can create similar effects. So it's more accurate to say that they alter pronunciation. depending on what base letter they're attached to. You could also say that diacritics shift the quality or manner of articulation. Change whether a sound is voiced or unvoiced, or whether it's a consonant or a vowel. Finally, the exact match between diacritic and pronunciation varies. Sometimes, a diacritic maps directly onto a phonetic contrast. For example, the Spanish tilde marks a pure vowel sound that doesn't exist elsewhere in the language. In other cases, a diacritic represents a sound that exists in other letters. Like the French, when a diacritic creates a new phoneme, the difference is called ala. For example, German umlaut turns A to A, a front, unrounded vowel, a sound that exists elsewhere in the language. Other times, a diacritic shows allophony in vowel length, like the macron, which indicates a lengthened vowel, or it marks nasalization when air flows through the nose more than usual, indicated by the tilde or a gulp. Diacritics also show tone in tonal languages, where the pitch of a word changes its meaning. Vietnamese uses a complex set of diacritics to show both tone and vowel quality. In some languages, including English, a diacritic marks stress, the relative prominence of a syllable. For example, Spanish uses the acute to show stress when it deviates from default patterns like in Finally, diacritics can even show consonant voicing, or whether a consonant is pronounced with or without the voice box vibrating, like the Karen or Hayek in Czech. That's a lot. So let's quickly recap. A diacritic is a small mark that changes the pronunciation of a letter. Different diacritics show different aspects of pronunciation like tone or stress, and whether a mocked letter is considered its own letter or a variant of a base letter is orthographic, not automatic. Next time you encounter a tiny squiggle above a letter, remember, it's there for a reason, to help you pronounce it correctly. Even if it looks arbitrary, it might preserve a historical sound change or native sound shape. And whether you're a reader or writer, diacritics add cultural color and personal flavor to language. They're a humble feature, but a stubborn one, refusing to disappear despite changing sounds and technologies. When preserved and supported in technology, they keep pronunciation clearer and cultural spelling intact. Thanks for watching! Subscribe to the channel to catch our series and follow us on social media. This is a presenter. See you next time!